Hey y'all, I wanted to get on here real quick and make a short video as we hit the top of the new week. From everything that's happened over the last 2 weeks, and especially last week, we're going to start seeing our timelines get back to normal, slowly but surely. And as we're doing that, I want people to remember that all of these tips and videos we've been seeing lately on how you can show up and you can say your part in regards to what we've been fighting. You can still continue to do all those things. Those tips aren't just simply for whether or not you couldn't show up to the protests, but also how you can continue putting out the message. I really want to remind people over the last only 5 years, we have had Black Lives Matter, we have had Stop Asian Hate, we have had Protect Trans Kids, we have had Trans Rights Are Human Rights, we have had Free Palestine, and so many other countries that are currently under occupation or war that need to be freed. This is exhausting to care. It is exhausting to be empathetic. And I've seen so many other creators say that they're exhausted and that they create content in order to find an oasis amongst it all, which is true. But there is a way for you to live, because that's what we're fighting for after all, and still live your life while still fighting for the message. And it doesn't always require you to show up to the protests. Just because we may not see the protests happening does not mean that the fight's no longer happening. Because as all of those things I just mentioned, Black lives still matter, but they still are shooting us down, and trans rights are being taken away every single day. And as this last week has happened, they have shut communication down on Palestine, and Asian folks are still experiencing more hate than ever. We have not fixed those issues just because the hashtags have disappeared and the emojis are gone. We still fight for those things every day. And how do we do it? By doing all of those things that we were mentioning before on, if you can't show up to the protest, then do this. Talk to your friends and family. Keep on having those hard conversations with them. Keep on sharing news. It takes 2 seconds on Instagram to share to your stories. It literally is that easy to continue sharing to your stories. And it doesn't even require much of anything on your end. Just following other folks who understand the message and sharing news outlets and news reports that you know are reputable. For those who make content, if you are able to, find very genuine ways to fit this message into your content. Recently, I made a Halloween haul and a conversation on the importance of shopping secondhand. But it was in reference to all of the Target hauls I've been seeing lately in regards to Target rolling back their DEI and why this is an issue. If you have the means, donate. Legal fees are expensive, and not just for those who need bailouts from protesting, but also for those who need legal fees in regards to the fight to immigration. There are so many people who are fighting for their right to stay in this country, and that requires a lawyer. It's about resetting, because if you don't reset, burnout is real because there is something always wrong. And unfortunately, that is the society we live in, is where there is something always to fight for. But you do have to learn how to reset, or else you will burn out and you will all of a sudden become numb to it all. It's all in waves. If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a step back and find a more low fire way for you to still be a part of the message. And as you reset and gain your strength, when you are able to, hopefully you can step back in at a stronger point. And because of you stepping back in at a stronger point, that'll allow somebody else to step back in order for them to reset. And this is the point I was also making about all of the other marginalized communities who are a part of this conversation. We all have to fight together. I've heard so many conversations about people being so exhausted. We're so exhausted fighting our own battles. We have nothing left in the tank for other people's. And that's because we're not all fighting together for our issues. If we did, you would have the trust to go, somebody else is out fighting for me as I'm taking a step back to reset so that I can step back in when I feel recharged. I hope that this is helpful. I feel like we don't have enough conversations about how to stay revolutionary, how to stay a part of the conversation after all of the protests and the petitions and everything start to die down. And I know in the past I've burned myself out, or I've felt very frustrated or upset starting to see the message no longer out there, or starting to feel like people don't care anymore. And it is because of a very real burnout, and they're hoping that you burn out. They're hoping that the conversation starts to die down and we get back to normal, because that's what's happened in the past. It's finding out a way to make it work every day. Whether it's something small or something completely huge, it all feeds into the same bucket. I hope that was helpful for anybody out there today. As per usual, I'm going to be doing my best to continue putting out the content that I love to give to y'all, but I just want to remind y'all, because I know when I put out my immigration rights or human rights video as well as a short recently, there were, of course, a lot of support, and I thank y'all so much to those who did support. But I also know there was a lot of comments that I had to flag because of misinformation or just simple bullying or hatred, unfortunately. And for those who don't get it, they can unsubscribe, they can unfollow wherever you may find me. I have always made it very clear where I stand on any morals, and even the point of this channel in the first place is reading diversely every single month. We're not just doing that to hit a topic, we're doing that to change our minds, to build our empathy, to build our emotional intelligence on other people's experiences. And I want people to remember that as they're sitting here and building their diverse bookshelves, that this is the whole point. I hope that y'all are staying safe out there. I hope that y'all are resetting while still being revolutionary. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.